Hello friends, today we're looking at chapter 2 from the new class 9 English book which is called The Pot Maker. This story is written by Temsula Au and it's about a young girl named Santila. Ever since she was a child, Santila dreamed of growing up to become a pot maker, meaning someone who makes pots and pitchers. But her mother wanted her to become a weaver instead, meaning someone who weaves cloth. So, does this girl's dream eventually come true or not? That's what we'll find out in this story. So, let's get started. The story tells us that once Santila was a little older, she had started helping her mother in the fields and in the forest. From around that time, she had only one dream to grow up and become a pot maker. Just like her mother and her grandmother, both of whom were pot makers. But Santila's mother, whose name is Nella, always wanted her daughter to become a weaver instead. It's further described that whenever Santila was left alone at home, with her parents away working in the fields, she would go and approach the expert potters, meaning she'd visit the people who made pots so she could learn the skill from them. Of course, Santila was still just a little girl, so whenever she told anyone she wanted to learn pot making, everyone assumed it was just a childish passion, that as she grew older, she would simply outgrow this interest, meaning it would fade away on its own. So everyone listened to her with curiosity, but nobody really took her seriously. Santilla never told anyone at home about this fascination, this strong pull she felt toward pot making. That's because one night she had overheard her parents talking. Her mother was complaining that Santilla was very indifferent toward weaving, meaning she had no interest in it at all. And her mother says she will not teach her pot making because, in her view, there's no real joy in it and it doesn't pay well either. It only brings in pittance, meaning very little money. On top of that, there's a lot of hardship involved, and she explained this to him one point at a time. First, you have to go to the riverbank to find where the grey and red clay is so the pot can be made. The distance from home to the riverbank is 16 kilometers, meaning a 16-kilometer round trip every single time. To get there, you have to climb down a steep drop, meaning descend a very sheer, sloping stretch of land, and then on the way back, carrying a heavy load on your back, you have to climb back up that same steep stretch, which makes it extremely difficult. Once home, the clay that's been carried back has to be put into a bamboo cylinder and pounded, meaning bitten hard again and again, so the clay softens. And after all that effort, the reward is just a few rupees. That's why the mother says she wants Sentilat to learn weaving instead, because weaving pays much better, and it's work that can be done sitting at home through the whole season, meaning there is no need to travel anywhere. On top of that, if someone weaves even a single shawl, it takes less time and the return is very handsome, meaning it pays really well. So, whatever reasoning Centilla's mother gives here about weaving, remember it, because it could come up in the exam. Now the story moves forward. We're told that Centilla still secretly kept going to watch the potters just to see how they worked. She goes and watches the potters first mix water into the clay, then pound it so it softens, then holding the soft clay in her left hand, very deftly, meaning with great skill, she rotates it on a wheel. While it's rotating, she holds a spatula in her right hand, a tool used to shape the clay into a pot, and gently taps the clay with it. The sound that came from this tapping felt like music to Scintilla's ears. After a while of this process, out of that shapeless lump of clay, a proper pot starts taking shape right before her eyes. After that, the best pots were set out in the sun to dry, and once dry, they were placed in a kiln, meaning a furnace. Inside the kiln, dry bamboo and hay, meaning straw, would be packed in and set on fire. This firing had to be very carefully controlled because if the fire got too strong or too weak, the entire batch of pots could be ruined. Here we've covered the entire pot making process. Remember this well because it's also very important for the exam. Now, Scintilla keeps visiting different potters, and her mother Arnella actually knew about this. But she was pretending to be ignorant, meaning acting as if she had no idea at all. In the afternoons, Centilla always made sure to return home early so that when her mother came back from the fields, she would find her right there at home and have no reason to suspect anything. The story further tells us that at the time, the potters in the village were facing a major problem. Pot making required a lot of hard work but paid very little, so the expert potters were sending their children into other lines of work like weaving or farming and avoiding teaching them pot making. This created a new problem. If all the expert potters stopped teaching their children this skill, who would take their place in the future? Because of this, one day Sentila's father, Maisuba, is summoned by the village council and they ask him why Anela isn't teaching Sentila how to make pots. Maisuba answers in a very humble tone, saying that Anela never said she wouldn't teach her daughter. She simply hasn't been able to yet because Sentila had recently been weakened by some illness. He says that as soon as Sentila gets a little stronger, her mother will definitely teach her. And he assures them that in time, Sentila will become the best pot maker in the whole village. After hearing Miss Suba's explanation, the elders decide to let him go, but they also give a warning to go back and tell Arnella that teaching her skill to her daughter is her duty because this needs to be handed down from generation to generation. The villagers go on to say that skills like pot making aren't just about meeting a need. They also symbolize the tradition and history of the whole village, and therefore they don't belong solely to any one individual's personal choice. In simple terms, this means that in the village, if a family has been weaving cloth or making pots for generations, that work becomes a part of that family's identity. And because of this, the tradition is seen as belonging not just to that family but to the whole village. So no individual can simply decide on their own to abandon that work and do something else instead. That's why the elders issue a stern warning saying Arnella is obliged, meaning it is necessary for her to pass her skill on to her daughter, and not just to her daughter, but to anyone else in the village who wishes to learn it as well. Hearing all of this, Mizuba goes home and discusses it with his wife. This is where this part of the story ends. And remember, whatever the villagers told Mizuba is also important. It could come up in the exam. A year after this incident, Sentila's mother takes her to the river bank where the grey and red clay could be found. She shows Sentila how a tool called a dhow is used to dig up the clay, meaning to dig it out of the ground. Then the clay is lifted and placed in a basket, soaked in water, and before being put into the bamboo cylinder, mixed in the right proportion, meaning the right amount. After that, it has to be pounded, beaten in such a way that no breaks or cracks form in the clay. When Sentilla tries to turn the lump of clay into a pot with her own hands, she isn't able to handle it properly, meaning she just can't get a proper grip on it. Because of this difficulty, every time she tries to shape the clay into a pot, it simply refuses to take the shape of one. Eventually, Sentilla grows weary, meaning completely tired and discouraged, and the lump falls from her hands onto the ground. At that moment, Arnella comes over to her and says, "Don't worry, I'll teach you how to make the perfect pot." This shows us that Arnella is a thoughtful and generous person, meaning someone wise and kind hearted. Remember this point? After this, Arnella herself begins making a pot, and Santilla watches with amazement, meaning with wonder and delight, as her mother creates a truly beautiful pot. Then Arnella tells her, "Now you try." This time Santilla picks up the lump of clay again, but now she's full of confidence, as if she'd never lost it in the first place, and this time she manages to make a beautiful pot. The next time Santilla sits with her mother, she watches how her mother shapes the handle of a pot, holding the spatula in her left hand. In this way, little by little, Santilla keeps learning each step from her mother, and the story shows us how patience, support, and practice eventually allow a little girl's dream to come true. So, friends, that's the complete story of the pot maker. Three things worth remembering. 1. the mother's reasoning for preferring weaving, 2. the entire pot making process, and 3. the village elder's point that passing on a skill is a duty tied to tradition and history. These 3 points are the ones most commonly asked about in exams. See you in the next video.